and they did so in a most cavalier attitude. Again, I strongly recommend the passage of Senator Rand Paul's bill for reform. Owen?
Well, there's a lot of unconstitutionality going on with our government. It'd be nice to see more people like Rand Paul take the step forward of introducing legislation to actually try to, tamper and taper some of this down. I mean, it's something that of all the members of Congress, Roger, almost nobody seems to be interested in actually upholding their oath to the Constitution. Rand Paul has always been a leader in that, so I'm not surprised he's the one spearheading any movements to try to bring the government back under the jurisdiction of the Constitution.
No, his proposal, called the USA Rights Act, would stop the backdoor searching of Americans for information and permanently end the abilities to do these, what they call about collection data. Rand Paul's bill, without any question, superior. We'll be back in just a few moments on The War Room, but please, folks, before you can pass another moment, hit the Infowars.com store because we need your support. We'll be right back.
You can learn a lot about the weaknesses of our enemies by studying what they attack, by studying what they fear. They fear families living together. They fear people loving God. They fear individuals being independent and successful and empowered. They fear communities really coming together and sharing in the bounty of a free market system. And they fear individuals openly exercising their First Amendment. That's why it is essential on every front to support Infowars. When you get a t-shirt like this new shirt that is my all-time favorite, and it's brand new, super nice fabric, it's designer made, won't tread on me with a big Gadsden snake right in the middle of the chest, a Dayglow, Infowars.com on the right shoulder with an American flag, Infowars.com on the back. When you wear it, it telegraphs to friends and to foe where you stand and what you believe. And so many things will happen. We are the majority. And it lets the minions of the bullies that are out there trying to intimidate us know and understand that we're not backing down and we're aware of what's happening. But just as importantly, it will allow you to meet like-minded people who could become some of the best friends in your life. So many people stop me on the streets all over the country and shake my hand and say, here's my husband, here's my wife, or here's a photo of my husband and my children. I was wearing one of your t-shirts at the park or at church or at the mall and met my spouse. So many people write me and have also told me on the street that they met like-minded people wearing these t-shirts that then became their new employer or their new business partner. We have to fly our flag. We have to wear our colors. So, won't tread on me, the new shirt at InfoWarsStore.com. When you get excited and you take action, nothing can stop you. And I want to see seas of this iconic shirt out there at big events and at Trump rallies and at land rights rallies and at Second Amendment rallies and on C-SPAN and on national television. We changed the world with the Bill Clinton rape shirt and the lock her up, Hillary for prison shirt. We've changed the world because you took action. Now let's take it to the next level and also support InfoWars and our operation financially when you get the shirt. So promote free speech, stand up to bullies, get a high-quality shirt, meet like-minded people. Again, and fund Infowars and the expanding operation we've got in the face of the globalists trying to shut us down. It is a total, complete 360 win. Please commit today to visit InfoWarsStore.com and look at all the amazing Patriot apparel, from ball caps to sweatshirts to high-quality T-shirts at InfoWarsStore.com. And we will continue to change the world together for the better, for our children, for righteousness, and for justice. I'm Alex Jones, and we will continue to change the world together for our children, for our communities, for ourselves, and for truth and for justice. Again, I want to thank you all for your support. And I salute you all for what you've done in the info war, whether it's spreading links to articles and videos, or spreading the word on the ground, or telling folks about local radio stations, or supporting our local sponsors. All of it has changed the world, especially your prayers. So please, from myself and my family and the amazing crew here at Infowars, thank you for all you've done. You are the Infowar.
The War Room. Infowars.com/show.
This is the return of the Republic. And this is the War Room with Roger Stone.
Dirty deeds done by cheat. Dirty deeds done by cheat.
Welcome back. You're on the War Room with your hosts, Roger Stone and Owen Shroyer. And Owen, I know you're going to find this shocking, but someone on Special Counsel Robert Mueller's team is leaking information to the press. Again. In a stunning display of hubris, Mueller and his team seem to want to attempt to condemn Trump and his associates in the court of public opinion. Many have had just about enough of this partisan witch hunt, and finally, an organization called Freedom Watch has decided to do something about it. Today, Freedom Watch, along with a former federal antitrust prosecutor, filed a complaint for writ of mandamus and injunctive relief in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. This motion is to force the Justice Department's Office of Professional Responsibility and the Inspector General to investigate alleged criminal leaks of grand jury information that have consistently emanated from the office of the special counsel, Robert Mueller, as well as obvious conflicts of interest among Mr. Mueller's staff. It sure is a pity that we have to sue the Justice Department to do their job.
Well, it's no surprise.
In other news, of course, we learned that Fusion GPS, the shady deep state investigative operation that undeniably colluded with Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election, up to and including payoffs to reporters, oh my goodness, to carry water on their fake Russian dossier statement. And yet, Attorney General Jeff Sessions continues to do nothing. Asleep at the wheel, Sessions continues to be asleep at the wheel while these stunning violations of law hit the media. Do you know what happens, Owen, when you're in a fast-moving car but you're asleep at the wheel? You crash, which is why I predict right here and now that Attorney General Jeff Sessions will be gone by the end of the year. You heard it here first.
By the end of the year, huh?
That's what my very best White House sources say. I think the president's patience are exhausted. One important correction, however, and that is, I learned today that media reports that the Attorney General had recused himself in the matter of Uranium-1 are inaccurate. He has not done so, which means that the Attorney General has the authority today to appoint a special prosecutor to examine the entire Uranium-1 scandal. You're familiar with this. It's where 9 members of the board of directors of Uranium-1 contributed $145 million to the Clinton Foundation. Now, the Clinton Foundation is not a charity. It's always been a slush fund for grifters, and in this case, the vehicle for the facilitation of multi-million-dollar bribes. And just to make sure that everything was good, Bill Clinton got a cool $500,000 for a speaking fee from Uranium-1. Now, the irony, of course, is that a special counsel appointed to look into Uranium-1 would have to focus on 4 individuals: Robert Mueller, former FBI director, James Comey, former FBI director, Andrew McCabe, deputy FBI director, and Rod Rosenstein, currently the #2 man at the Trump Justice Department, but then the supervising U.S. attorney on the Uranium One investigation. Now, I ask you, how can these men be investigating the president for Russian collusion when they themselves would be under investigation for corruption in the Uranium One cover-up? So the course is clear. If the president wants to save himself, and by the way, assurances that he has given to many in recent days that he is soon to be cleared in the entire Russian collusion investigation, I think are optimistic at best. It tells me that the president is listening to his attorney, Ty Cobb. I think he misunderstands the partisan nature and determination of Robert Mueller, hitman for the deep state, to end the Trump presidency. That's why we must have a special prosecutor for Uranium One. Owen?
Well, I completely agree with you, especially when I saw this story today that came out of the AP. FBI gave heads up to fraction of Russian hackers' U.S. targets. And the story goes on and basically talks about how this Russian, they say a Russian government-aligned cyber espionage group, Fancy Bear, which is complete mumbo-jumbo. It's just a hacking group or malware group, whatever you want to say it, out of Russia. Of course, there's hackers in Russia that try to put malware on Americans' computers to get information or to hack in or what have you. It could be as simple as stealing a credit card information or a social security number, or let's say it does go higher, and then you have someone like Hillary Clinton with an illegal server with classified information. Now they might be getting government secrets. But Roger, what I see them doing actually with this story is, with just like with the sexual assault thing, they want this all to come back on Trump. Because if you read the story, really what the story is that James Comey's FBI failed. James Comey's FBI was asleep at the wheel, and while it knew all of this Russian hacking was going on, didn't tell anyone, didn't report it to the people that were hacked, didn't even tell Hillary Clinton, who had an illegal private server that was wide open for anyone to hack, didn't tell anyone in the Democrat Party that hired Imran Owan, who was working remotely from Pakistan on Democrat servers. James Comey's FBI completely dropped the ball on it. But how do they spin it, Roger? FBI knew of Russian hackers targeting the U.S. Government-linked Russian hackers targeted the U.S. It's Russia here, it's Russia there. So they don't even tell you the real story, that James Comey FBI completely flopped, completely failed, completely peed the bed on this one. No, it's all about legitifying the Russian hacking, the Russian collusion story. So to me, this my sentiment completely echoes what you're saying. They're not going to stop with this Russia thing. They're going to continue to play this Russia card, even though they know it can't win. I mean, it's a 2 and a 7 in a game of Hold'em. You're not going to win. So they're doing it, though, to keep that mothball out there, to keep that thing out there. And then eventually, when they have enough on the sexual harassment stuff, I think that's when they'll kind of bury this and go with that angle. But I completely agree with you, Roger. They're not going to stop with this Russia thing. They got to keep that thing out there.
Even though it is very clear that they've come up completely and totally empty-handed, you notice the indictments of Paul Manafort and his associate Rick Gates had nothing whatsoever to do with Russia. How curious. Now, it's gotten so bad, Owen, that when I go into a bar and I order a very dry vodka martini, I don't even ask for Russian vodka anymore. I'm afraid it might be the source of a criminal indictment. When I order my salad, I have to pass on the Russian dressing. It's reached absurd proportions. Yet,
well,
today,
Roger, did you see? I mean, they were playing Tchaikovsky at the White House this morning. I think we need to investigate that. I mean, who put that?
There needs to be a grand jury on that immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
I agree.
Look, It's interesting to me that the FBI released 75 incredible emails today, which showed that Hillary Clinton was given special treatment in the email investigation, and that Deputy Attorney General Andrew McCabe was violating the Hatch Act by taking $450,000 in campaign contributions for his wife's campaign for the Virginia State Senate, funneled to him by Clinton associate Terry McAuliffe, the governor of Virginia. The stage is set to blow Mr. McCabe out of the FBI and for a total house cleaning under Director Wray.
With few remaining days left on the legislative calendar, Congress sure has a lot on the agenda, including reauthorization of mass surveillance. The current authorization for the controversial Section 702 expires December 31st, and it's the first time Congress has faced reauthorization since Edward Snowden revealed the NSA's mass surveillance apparatus. Civil libertarians have urged Congress to take this reauthorization as an opportunity to implement meaningful reforms to shield innocent Americans from mass surveillance, but with the clock running out, Congress appears poised to just jam through reauthorization. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has just took up a blockbuster case. The privacy of emails, photos stored in the cloud, even heart rate history from a smartwatch could be at stake. The case, Carpenter versus U.S., will determine whether the history of cell phone locations stored by a phone service provider is searchable without a warrant. It's a legal theory known as the third-party doctrine. Leanne McAdoo, Infowars.com.
Support good oral health with our one-of-a-kind Super Blue fluoride-free products. Infowars Life brings you a revolutionary toothpaste blend with iodine and nano silver designed to deliver a powerful clean. Enjoy a minty fresh flavor made with peppermint oil or try our bubblegum flavor. Pair this groundbreaking toothpaste with the Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash and supercharge your oral health. Our amazing mouthwash features natural oils and ancient ingredients used since Aboriginal and biblical times. Instead of containing fluoride, our Super Blue line is loaded with the good halogen iodine and an array of other beneficial compounds that have been hand-selected for their oral health benefits. Super Blue fluoride-free mouthwash and toothpaste are the first and only to contain all of these natural ingredients: xylitol, nano silver, and iodine. Notice the difference with our Super Blue fluoride-free products. Refresh your breath and invigorate your oral health routine at InfoWarsStore.com. That's InfoWarsStore.com.
You deserve a deep, restful sleep with Knockout by Infowars Life. Our organic formula is made from high-quality natural ingredients such as valerian root extract, L-tryptophan, lemon balm leaf extract, and melatonin. Knockout packs a powerful punch to get you through the night and achieve proper sleep. Millions of people around the world experience daytime drowsiness, but with the rapid speed of life, we need to be able to keep up the pace. Our natural mixture harnesses the power of 10 known ingredients to let your body relax and get the sleep you need. Wake up refreshed and take on the day. Infowars Life wants to bring you a sleep support formula that goes above and beyond other leading brands at an affordable price. Get the sleep you deserve and experience the power of Knockout. Head on over to InfoWarsLife.com and say goodbye to fatigue. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
America is in an information-based civil war. That's why now more than ever, we've got to hit the streets of America and let these globalist scum know we're not backing down from their bullying. We're only intensifying our operations in the face of their wannabe dictatorship. Being a conservative, a nationalist, a libertarian, or simply a free speech advocate is truly the counterculture. The real punk rock is being a patriot who's pro-America, pro-capitalism, and pro-freedom, who at the same time is tolerant. Modern liberalism is a counterfeit of Thomas Jefferson's classical liberalism. They are the anti-liberals. To defend free speech, meet like-minded friends, and promote freedom worldwide. We've got more than 60 original designs of high-quality T-shirts for men and women, as well as more Patriot apparel at InfoWarsStore.com. Be part of the Second American Revolution at InfoWarsStore.com.
The War Room. Infowars.com/show.
Welcome back. You're at the War Room with your hosts Roger Stone and Owen Shroyer. And I want to point out that Infowars is really the only three-dimensional alt-right media outlet where you can watch us on the internet, you can listen to us on the radio, you can read the terrific stories posted at our website. We are the cutting edge. We are the leaders of the resistance. And we've been building up sales all week to give you the very best, and that's why we're calling today Cyber Monday. That's right. Free shipping for anything you order at the Infowars store. Take advantage of our incredible limited prices and save big on your health and security with Infowars Life Select Survival Foods at 50% off or Emmerich's Essential Products at 50% off. We have huge savings on some of the most favorite products at Infowars, products that the crew takes every day like Brain Force Plus, my personal favorite, Super Male Vitality, which Michael Zimmerman would not be without, and of course, Knockout for 50% off. I like Knockout because you get a safe and restful sleep supplement, yet you wake up the next morning refreshed and alert. There's no hangover. 100% natural. This is better than anything you can buy in the drugstore, even, I think, things that you can get over the counter. So now is the time. And again, free shipping if you order today in this incredible Cyber Monday special. And 10% off with a code bonus. So if you have an Infowars Life gift card, you can spread the truth and knowledge to your friends this Christmas. Go to the site now for these incredible bargains and help fund our expansion and our fight for the truth. We are the resistance. We are the cutting edge. But we have no multinational corporations or elusive billionaires in the background financing our operations. We can only depend on you. So please give us your support today. Owen?
Well, Roger, you had encouraged me to spearhead the Michelle Obama for President 2020 campaign. So I had to take your advice. I mean, if Roger Stone is going to offer you a piece of advice like that, you have to absolutely take it. And while I'm no master in psychology, I think I have a pretty good understanding of basic human psychology. And I really believe that there is a reverse psychology tactic to announcing Michelle Obama for president before she actually runs to defeat her campaign. Because, you see, if we report on that, if we break that news, if we say it first, just because it came from us, it's so toxic to liberals that they won't be able to embrace it. They won't be able to get behind it because they heard it on Infowars first. So therefore, it's so toxic, Michelle wouldn't have a chance. But I still got to pull for my guy, Michael, excuse me, my girl, Michelle. And I just want to tell you, Roger, I want to get your thoughts on this. I've now come up with the 2020 Democrat National Convention speakers for Michelle Obama. Are you ready for this, Roger?
I am. Plus, I'm very anxious to hear your nominees for Michelle Obama's running mate. I know Harvey Weinstein's at the top of your list, but I want to hear what the other options are.
You know what? That's actually one that's tough, but I think I have the answer for you, at least right now, where it could go. But that one is still, I think, kind of, I'm not sure about that. But here's what we got so far for the DNC speakers, Roger. All right? We've got Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick will be speaking at the 2020 DNC. You've got Harvey Weinstein. He's a shoo-in. I mean, Harvey Weinstein is basically a shoo-in at the 2020 DNC, folks. Al Franken. We got to get Al Franken in there. Al Franken will be speaking at the 2020 DNC. John McCain. John McCain. I think it'll be the first sitting Republican to ever speak, or I guess he probably won't be sitting at that time, but probably the first Republican to ever speak at a DNC. Congratulations, John McCain. Rosie O'Donnell. We're going to get the fat pig, Rosie O'Donnell, up there. Again, just Rosie, not all women, just Rosie. Roger Goodell, I think, would be an excellent speaker for the 2020 DNC. Of course, Goodell will probably be long gone from the NFL by then, but he's a nice liberal. Jimmy Kimmel, we'll get him to get up there, shed a couple crocodile tears over, sexual assault and gun violence. Nancy Pelosi, I'm not sure if she'll still be able to put 2 and 2 together, but she'd be great entertainment for the 2020. John Podesta, you got to get Podesta up there. Of course, Podesta is going to be followed by Hillary Clinton. She'll be Skyping in from prison for Michelle Obama's 2020 DNC. And then Keith Olbermann and Lena Dunham rounding it out. Maybe a tag team duo, Keith Olbermann, Lena Dunham, for the 2 craziest people in media on the left. And then I'm thinking Michelle Obama's vice president might be Linda the Cockroach Sarsour. So there you go, Roger. There's my idea. What do you think?
Well, I'm not sure that Linda Sarsour is eligible because, of course, she's not a U.S. citizen. Now, the great danger to a Michelle Obama nomination would be if Senator Al Franken decides to run and then offers the vice presidency to the Green Party nominee from 2016, Jill Stein. That would, of course, be the Frankenstein ticket. The other great danger, of course, is I say that you had Michelle, pardon me, that you had Megyn Kelly on your speakers list, but she
canceled her.
Been canceled. Yes,
yeah.
You beat me to it.
Yeah, you know, she's so irrelevant now that it's almost not even worth it.
Well, if we can be serious for a moment, that was a terrific piece that you showed a moment ago where Doug Schoen, who for my money is, in my view, one of the smartest analysts in the Democratic Party, points out that Michelle Obama is head and shoulders above all the other potential Democratic candidates. I have predicted here on the War Room and on the Alex Jones Show that she will be the nominee. When Doug Schoen talks about what's happening in American politics, whether it's the Democratic Party or the populace in general, I listen. Very, very shrewd analysis. Doug Schoen. Follow him carefully. He appears at Fox. And to my mind, he is the most objective and knowledgeable of the Democrats out there. I do think that what you have seen in recent days where Michelle Goldberg, Chris Hayes, Ross Douthat, I guess you say it, at the New York Times, have systematically turned on the Clintons means that the Obamas have given the signal. The Democratic Party is going to download the Clintons the way the Soviet Union downloaded Stalin under Khrushchev. They will be non-people. So therefore, I doubt that Hillary Clinton will be invited to the convention, even if the problems that are confronted by her confinement in a federal penitentiary would make it possible through the modern miracle of Skype. The Democrats' enthrallment with the Clinton days is over, and they are to be assigned to the dustbin of history. When the liberals turn on you, once and for all, you know you're done. Now, for anyone who doesn't know the shocking history of Bill and Hillary Clinton, I commend to you The Clintons' War on Women by Roger Stone. You can find this incredible book at the Infowars store now. And it is a story of rape, sexual assault, treason, epic greed, and crime that boggles the mind. If you thought you knew the story of Bill and Hillary and their greedy little daughter, Chelsea, you're wrong. This book will curl your ears. Included, of course, is the fact that Chelsea is the real daughter of Webster Hubbell and Hillary Clinton, or the incredible story about the abandonment of Bill's natural-born son, Danny Williams, banished by Hillary. The Clintons' War on Women, now at the Infowars.com store. Get your copy today.
Well, Roger, you said you expect Roy Moore to win this Senate election by a hair. The polls have it going back and forth. I don't even believe the polls to begin with. But real quick, before we let you go, you still think that Roy Moore is looking like he can win?
Well, he's certainly in the ballpark. It is a very close race. I think it's important to note that this was a close race even before the allegations of sexual assault or harassment by Roy Moore. And therefore, I think he will hold on. But in American politics, a day is a lifetime. And an election that is almost a little longer than 12 days away could go either way. Let's see what happens.
That's Roger Stone. He departs now. He will be back with us tomorrow as usual. This is the War Room, and we will be back right after this break.
Let's talk to Danny. Let's talk to Dr. Group. You're on the air, Danny.
Hi. The nascent iodine, the B12, and the super male are incredible products.
Thank you.
I would like to ask Dr. Group, are there any supplements or products that help promote the growth of stem cells, and would you consider making one if there is?
Well, the DNA Force is probably the biggest product that's designed to do that, but the fastest way to stimulate stem cells, and this was a study by USC, we were talking about it earlier, is water-only fasting. I haven't found anything in my over 20 years of research that can actually stimulate stem cell production as fast as water-only fasting can do it. And according to USC, in 72 hours, you can regenerate your entire immune system, and it reboots itself. So, I mean, think about that. You can go overseas to Thailand and get a $120,000 stem cell treatment, or maybe a $50,000 stem cell treatment, or you can do it for $1.99 a day with spring water or distilled water.
Let me be clear. There's hundreds and hundreds of studies just on BioPQQ alone that's in DNA Force that we're allowed to talk about because it's so powerful. But it regenerates nerves in some cases. So an area that was dead, like your knee, your back, it may come back. It may hurt worse for a while. I had a finger that was chopped off and was still numb up on the front. I took DNA Force after a few months. It came back, sort of tingling. The feeling is back. So it doesn't grow telomeres. It keeps them from shrinking as fast, correct?
Yes, and I mean, the cleaner your body is and the more you detoxify and the healthier you become on a daily basis, the better your body is at producing stem cells.
Danny, you've got to try DNA Force for yourself. As Dr. Group said, the fasting is amazing. Each person's different, so consult your physician or do your own research. But yeah, we're running the biggest specials we've run in like 6 months and free shipping store-wide at InfoWarsStore.com.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Welcome to the War Room, the latest addition to Infowars live programming. The War Room is live weekdays, 3 to 6 p.m. Central at Infowars.com/show and warroom.show. You can follow us at War Room Show on Twitter and The War Room Show on Facebook. And all of our content can be found on our YouTube channel. Subscribe for notification. Owen Shroyer and Roger Stone bring you the day's biggest stories, as well as the latest breaking news, with a no-holds-barred, aggressive approach and commitment to bringing you the most cutting-edge analysis and information. For far too long, the liberal media complex has controlled the narrative. For far too long, the silent majority has been muzzled. The silent majority is no longer silent, and we control the narrative now. This is the War Room.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
All right, this is how we work here at Infowars. We fly by the seat of our pants and we manifest ideas right as they come to our head. So President Trump tweets this out this morning. We should have a contest as to which of the networks, plus CNN and not including Fox, is the most dishonest, corrupt, and or distorted in its political coverage of your favorite president. Me. They are all bad. Winner to receive the fake news trophy. Now, I, for a long time, have wanted to do an alternative news awards type of situation, since there really is no real news awards. There really isn't any real news or alternative news celebration, dinner or whatever you want to call it. We really don't get any of that. We get left out because we're not in the establishment. So I've always wanted to kind of create our own. But now, with this tweet from President Trump, I think is the time to use this momentum and actually do it. So in the short break, I went and talked to the news director here, my boss, Rob Dew. He said, this sounds like a great idea. So Rob, tonight we are actually going to do it from midnight to 1 o'clock. You and I are going to award the fake news trophy.
Well, and it may go later into the hours of the evening, but one thing is for sure, we will have a winner. And I think we'll look at, we'll come up with some categories here. You're done in about an hour. We can write up some categories. We can do this. We get Alex to promote it today. Alex can put in his 2 cents in it tonight. He's on from 8 to 10. And then I'll take over after Alex, and we'll talk about it a little more. We'll go into it and then just look at the fake news. There's so many to choose from. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be a lot of competition. Competition is stiff, as they say. But I think we're going to find a winner. I think we'll be able to find a winner. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say Russian collusion is probably going to be the winner.
The fake news story of the year?
Yeah, well, it could be the dirty dossier. But there'll be segments of that. It's like, how do you even cut this pie up? How do we give these awards? And what do they get as an award? We'll design an award. We will have it ready. Maybe it's the Hillary Clinton Velociraptor.
Yeah. You know she whispers in your ear.
Exactly. or the George Soros demon. Those were sent to us as 3D printouts. We'll have some sort of award that we will be able to give out to some fake news organization, and we can send it to them, or maybe hand deliver it to them.
And we got to do the fake news anchor too. I mean, you got to have the fake news anchor of the year too. I mean, you got your Rachel Maddow, your Chris Hayes, Jake Tapper, Don Lemon. I mean, we got to take all things into consideration here.
Exactly. There's a whole lot to look at, and we have a short time to get there. As that famous who was that, Johnny Paycheck or no, Jerry something. They go eastbound and down, going up and trucking. Nobody even knows. He was in Cannonball Run. No, it's Jerry something. Anyway,
so we'll do the fake news anchor of the year. We'll do the fake news story of the year. We'll have a couple subcategories. Again, this is going to be tonight.
Jerry Reed.
Midnight Central to 1 o'clock Central. Rob Dew, myself. And we'll take calls too. We'll obviously take calls.
You know, I don't even have any guests at this point. I'm actually going to be. I'll give you a little preview of what I took a vacation over Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Did you travel back in time? You look younger.
Yeah. I went to West Virginia. Went to D.C. Wallowed around in the swamp, and then I have an amazing story about what the travel industry does to people like me who have lots of kids. Well,
how dare you? Not to mention you're a white male, so
I know
you probably didn't want to get the TSA reach around either.
They definitely felt justified in what they did, and I will be exposing them. I recorded the conversations, and we're going to be putting it all out.
Oh boy!
Some travel tips for people out there, because
I'm going to shoot you straight. Infowars has changed the world because you've supported us. The globalists are on the run, but they're launching counteroffensives. And now more than ever, I am thankful for your support, and I'm asking you to visit InfoWarsStore.com. Running right through to next week on Cyber Monday, we've got free shipping store-wide and clearly the biggest sales in our history. We just keep launching bigger and bigger sales. We've got our nootropic, Brain Force, 50% off. We've got so many other products there that are 50% off and free shipping, but it's all ending coming up next week. And many of these sales are for one day only because of the supplies. We've got Patriot Apparel. We've got it all. Help fund the second American Revolution that's glowing global at InfoWarsStore.com. And whatever you do, pray for the Republic and pray for the fall of the New World Order.
This is the War Room.
All right, so we just announced it. The Fake News Trophy Awards will be tonight from midnight to 1 Central on the Infowars Know Your Enemy 34-hour special broadcast. It doesn't get any more perfect than that. That is Providence right there. It'll be myself, Rob Dew. Trump tweets it out, the Fake News Trophy. We take it to the next level. We're going to do the award ceremony tonight. Be sure to tune in. We'll also take guest calls and opinions. Of course, this comes today as we're joined by Leo Zagami. This comes today when Vanity Fair publishes a story saying that Melania Trump did not want to be First Lady. She dreaded becoming First Lady. A total fake news story, literally made up. Melania Trump hits back and says, absolutely not. I love being the first lady. I never, ever said anything like that. So Vanity Fair will obviously be talked about tonight when we're talking about fake news. Of course, Leo Zagami, very familiar with fake news. He's been covering the globalist fake press for a long time. Leo, thank you for joining me today.
Hello, everybody. I'm at your service with some real news, but I'm always available to win the award that Rob has put up for us today.
Well, you don't want to win that award. You want to win the Real News Award.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Actually, I'll tell you what. In the spirit of tonight's upcoming award ceremony, I'm bestowing upon Leo Zagami the best accent in news. Boom.
Great, thank you very much. And I would like now to start unveiling to you the latest breaking news. Which side of the cake will you like to taste, dear Owen?
You know, I'm feeling kind of good right now. So let's start on the good side, the side that's not totally poisoned.
That's a bit of a difficult one. We could start fantasizing that the altar boys of the Vatican are these innocent angels that are never touched by anyone else than the Holy Spirit.
Okay, so let's go down that. Here, you know what? I'm glad that you went there because I'm sure you could actually enlighten the audience more. Last week, the story came out that a few of these altar boys were allegedly sexually assaulting younger altar boys, and this was some time ago, and then they ended up becoming priests serving the Vatican. What do you think is going on here? Do we have some sort of a cultural problem? Is that a cultural issue in the Vatican? Are these people getting blackmailed into positions of power at the Vatican? What do you think is going on?
Well, I wanted to give you today another scoop, because we are surrounded by censorship, and the people who have broke this news in Italy have actually been threatened by the Vatican, and the witnesses have also been threatened. They even want to take legal action against these ex-altar boys who haven't followed up in their career as priests because they were simply disgusted of what went on in the Vatican, especially with one child of 13 who grown up in this situation in this pre-seminary, St. Pius X, raped by a much older boy. He was 20 at the time, and now he became a priest. And this situation went on even during the masses of the Pope behind the altar. It's simply disgusting what went on behind the altar. I mean, if you want, I can describe it, but I mean, I don't know if your listeners or viewers want me to go so detailed. Here we are talking about a situation that nobody wants to really unfold. So today, in front of your cameras, I want to show the guy who is basically the one who raped the younger child in the seminary. His name has not been revealed by the mainstream media. He's called Gabriele Martinelli. He's still a priest, and the bishop is trying to cover up the story. And at the same time, as I said, they threatened the investigative journalist Pecoraro, who broke this story on the Italian TV, thanks to the Italian TV show Le Iene. And this whole thing was based on a book that investigated what went on in the altar boys of the Vatican and found a lot of things that are still unfolding, including the involvement of various priests that is now coming out. But the censorship in Italy is very heavy on this news here. So we need to really break the fake news, destroy the fake news, give real news to the people, and make the story heard. Because this guy here forced another altar boy of the pre-seminary St. Pius X to stroke his penis while he was behind the Pope during the Mass in St. Peter's Basilica.
Now, this is obviously something the Vatican doesn't want reported on, especially considering what was recently discovered with allegedly gay sex orgies and sex parties going on within the Vatican that was discovered. That's already reached the press.
And that was something else that we broke here from Infowars. That's why I think that in the next few days, you will see finally the name of this guy mentioned in the mainstream media. Because you see, we
now let's just clarify this as you're breaking this live with me. Allegedly, this Gabriele at the time was an altar boy, but now he's a priest. But at the time, when he's an altar boy, allegedly he's abusing some of the younger boys, and then he becomes a priest, and he's still a priest.
And the guy who witnessed, the main witness, this Polish guy who witnessed the whole thing, he was kicked out of the seminary, and he ended up living in the street. And he's now fearing for his life. He doesn't have much. I mean, he's from Poland. His family, of course, was very proud of having somebody to send to the Vatican in what is the only place. You have to remember that this pre-seminary is the only place that keeps in the Vatican minors. So it's the ideal place where pedophiles can take their praise. I mean, it's disgusting. It's something that should be exposed. The Pope has been forced now to start a new investigation. Initially, the whole Vatican media tended to delegitimize the whole thing. But then when they saw the evidence that was being brought forward by the various investigative journalists, they decided to start a new investigation. But how this new investigation is going to end up, of course, is going to be a matter of compromises between the various bishops, cardinals involved, and the whole show. So that's why it's very important that this guy here steps down now from his position as a priest, because he's in charge of an oratory and of children right as I'm talking.
But let's be clear here. I mean, let's talk about a situation where you could have potential blackmail going on to control the power levers inside of the Vatican.
Of course, this can also be used as blackmail, but I must say one thing from my own investigation into this whole thing. This pre-seminary was founded 60 years ago, almost 60 years ago, and it has been there as a place where literally pedophiles can pick up their prey very easily, because in the summer it becomes like a summer camp full of young boys inside the Vatican. Imagine that. I mean, so I will suggest really the Pope to take this matter more seriously than he is, because if he attempts another cover-up, really, I mean, this is the time that he needs to expose these pedophiles.
Leo, where is the international media? Where is any press? I have seen zero press, literally nothing.
Yeah. Well, the Associated Press brought out this article a few days later. The whole thing had already erupted in the Italian media and was already forced to kind of fade out. And then the Associated Press came up with this article stating basically these altar boys were being threatened with a lawsuit, that the lawyers of the Vatican were...
All right, we're going to be right back with this. Leo Zagami is going to break it all down. But what does it tell you about a media, folks, that reports on an Al Franken photo for an entire week, doesn't report on this alleged sexual activity happening right behind the Pope's back? Something's wrong with that.
It's called pregnanolone. And I learned about it 5 years ago, getting a checkup at the doctor, and I noticed that they were selling it. And then I learned, though, that if you take it with multivitamins and the right amino acids and the right minerals in a compound together and soup it up with beetroot concentrate, that the leading science showed that all of that together gave your body the complete building blocks to produce not just key hormones, but other compounds that come out of your glands. And it's so game-changing. I've been taking the red pill the last few months, and the amount of energy it gives me, the amount of stamina, the amount of focus. You can even make claims about what it does for your cardiovascular system, what it does for your brain. But there's no classic stimulants in the real red pill. So the real red pill, vitamin, minerals, and pregnanolone, as well as beetroot, is so powerful, supports optimal brain function, supports hormonal balance, supports healthy aging. By age 20, our body stops producing as much pregnenolone, which again is a neurosteroid precursor. That's why the Olympic team lets you take it. That's why all the sporting teams and other organizations let you take it, because it's in a steroid class, but it's naturally occurring and is a precursor. So it's reportedly, you can do your own research, totally and completely safe. It's the building block that your body has to have to then make all the other hormones. But then they've got to have the vitamins, they've got to have the minerals, they've got to have the amino acids, and then it's all right there together in the real red pill. You know, this had another name 6 months ago, and we were having the first samples come in that I began to take. And I noticed that the pills, let me open a bottle of this and just show you, that the pills were, depending on the batch, pink or red. This particular batch, the beetroot's not that dark, which is barely pink. And I thought, a pink pill? I go, ooh, Matrix, red pill. Call it the real red pill. Now, again, we have a product that is our best seller. This doesn't compete with Brain Force, that has the green tea extract, a little bit of it, and has some of the yerba mate in it, and gives you good, clean, strong pick-me-up. But that's not even the main reason. It's got the L-theanine. It's got a whole bunch of other alpha, GPC, and other things in it. Black pepper, fruit extract, and a bunch of other things that are known to give you good, clean energy. But this does have some healthy stimulants in it. The real red pill doesn't. It just has all the building blocks for you to have the hormones and the other things that your body needs. That's why I'm so excited about Brain Force Plus, which is still 50% off. That special is about to end because the supplies are about to sell out. And the red pill, the real red pill, out of the gates, ladies and gentlemen, is 50% off. It's a powerful multivitamin. It is a powerful mineral spectrum vitamin. But what it's really powerful for is that it has the pregnenolone in it and the beetroot and more, and all of it together. Dramatic response is what I've personally experienced. And that's why out of the gates, I'm offering 50% off on this. And the reason we're doing that is I want you to try it and see how amazing it is and give us your reviews before it goes back to the regular price. 120 capsules in a nice glass bottle, super high quality, and your purchase helps fund the operation. But I'm really impressed with the real red pill, so I hope you'll get your bottle today and tell us what you think there as well.
The War Room. Infowars.com/show.
Zagami is my guest, and we're breaking, honestly, sad, horrifying news coming out of the Vatican. It seems like that's kind of all that comes out of the Vatican these days. And it's just funny with these stories coming out of the Vatican. It shows you the double standard in the media and amongst the general population, where you have millions of people marching in Washington, D.C. over fake news, wearing vagina hats, literally over fake news. And then real news breaks, Franken, John Conyers, the list goes on. And where are the vagina hats now? Where are all of the calls for resignation now? Where is anyone in the liberal press calling out the Vatican now? Total silence. And now you have Archbishop of Canterbury baffled by Christians who back Trump. This is Justin Welby out of Canterbury, the Archbishop. And basically the first thing I thought when I saw this story, Leo, was, okay, the louder they yell, the more skeletons they have in their closet. I have a feeling that we're going to find out about the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby. We're going to find out about some skeletons from him very soon. That's how this has trended, so watch out for that. But, Leo, what do you make of the press's silence, for the most part, of what's coming out of the Vatican?
Well, you see, the Archbishop of Canterbury represents the Church of England and the Queen. The Queen backs the international left-wing conspiracy that is basically ruining the planet together with George Soros and the whole show. So this goes all the way to the Queen. These people are trying to make pedophilia acceptable, are trying to make things that are out of this world acceptable. I mean, we will never have thought about gay marriages until a few years ago, but now it has to become accepted by everybody. And so they will gradually work more also on the pedophilia aspect, especially the Church of England, because, I mean, England is one of the places which has, together with, with the Vatican, probably the highest density of pedophiles in their parliament, in their institution, in their church, and in the Freemasonry. So we have to be very careful now how things unfold, but definitely the international pedophile network, which extends, as we have seen, from Hollywood all the way to England, all the way to the Vatican, now is going to try in every way possible to discredit people like us who make real news. And they will try to portray their own media as the only ones. In Italy, in the last week, we have calls for censoring Facebook, for censoring the whatever alternative media exists, which is very few, really. In reality, here in Europe, we don't have the alternative media you have in the US, the possibility of having Infowars, Drudge Report, and others opposing the mainstream media and the fake news. So, but they want to really increase the censorship. And so now the Democratic Party in Italy this week has done their own convention called the Leopolda, where they have called, they have accused people of doing fake news to sabotage the future Italian elections. I mean, and they, of course, who have they accused, Owen? Who have they accused? Yes!
Huzzah! Russia controls everything now.
Italy, even in Italy, Russia is controlling the future elections. I mean, Russia is really everywhere and anywhere. And Italy is a country that at the moment, unfortunately, has no chance of having an opposition to the New World Order, because Berlusconi had to sell out his own conservative agenda. Otherwise, they will take over his media empire. So, I mean, he had to, the only probably conservative figure that we had in Italy that could oppose all this is now, for the first time, being endorsed by La Repubblica, who is the first left-wing newspaper in Italy. So now Berlusconi is endorsed by the Democratic Party. I mean, this is insane. Suddenly, you put on the Italian news or the Italian media, and all those channels who were accusing Berlusconi until 5 years ago of being a pedophile, of being a perverted guy, of being everything that was wrong, now they're all like, oh, Berlusconi is fine. He's the only alternative. Yes, he's fine, because they want to oppose, of course, the rise of Beppe Grillo's five-star movement, which is considered populist. But this is happening all over Europe. They have both the politicians and, of course, they control the media. So people like Infowars have a great opportunity to actually give the real news, the real information. I noticed, for example, after you posted the article I wrote about Charles Manson, that a lot of OTO members of this sect called the Ordo Templi Orientis, started to comment that they were Infowars fans, but they were also Telemites, fans of Aleister Crowley, and Aleister Crowley was a good person. He wasn't really a Satanist. I mean, guys, if Aleister Crowley is not a Satanist, I mean, then, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
yeah,
this is
I've kind of seen what you're talking about, and I think it kind of comes down to the psychological thing where people literally can't believe anything anymore, and whatever they see, they just assume the opposite. So I think that may explain some of that. But I want to come back real quick to the Archbishop of Canterbury, because, again, this guy does the interview and he talks about how he's gone around the world and he's literally spoken to the worst people. He talks about how he's spoken to killers and murderers, and he's basically comparing Trump supporters to murderers and killers. and oh, I have to talk to them about how I can, you know, make them think right and act right and be a good person again. And that's how he's saying how he is trying to talk to people who are Christian that support Trump. But again, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I have this new instinctual reaction where the louder they scream, the more vivacious they are attacking Trump, whatever it may be, then my guess immediately is, okay, what's this person got to hide? Okay, this person has some dark skeletons in his closet. He's clearly going to be the next domino to fall. What are your thoughts when you see stories like this, when people coming out attacking Trump with seemingly no logic at all?
Well, in my life, I was witness to many cases because I'm half English, so I'm not Anglican, but I'm Catholic, but I was raised close to Anglican priests, friends of my family, and one of them was accused of pedophilia and was actually sent to a monastery to recover from it. And this showed me many years ago that the Anglican Church had basically the same problems as the Catholic Church in regards to pedophilia. And so they have definitely a lot of skeletons in the closet. And the royal family itself has a lot of skeletons in the closet because, of course, we know that Prince Charles is also a alleged bisexual, or at least partially homosexual. And this is something that is pretty much accepted by everybody as nearly normal. But there is many others also, the brother of Prince Charles, involved in some pretty shady business.
The entire Satanist Luciferian power structure is crumbling. That's the real news.
After years of research working with top developers here in the United States with the latest cutting-edge science, we are rolling out 3 new digestive gut aids. One of them is a powerful pro-digestive enzyme, carnivore, for being able to break down meat and other proteins better. And then the other 2 is a powerful 50 billion live probiotic culture of the very best strains in Floralife Advanced Restoration. And then we also have an everyday, extremely affordable Floralife Everyday Maintenance. But all of these are the very cutting-edge, top-of-the-line probiotics and digestive enzymes at an extremely affordable price. That is my goal here, is to bring you the very best at the lowest price. When you purchase it at InfoWarsStore.com, you know you are also financing the attack on the globalist and the defense of our republic and freedom worldwide. I'm going to shoot you straight. Infowars has changed the world because you've supported us. The globalists are on the run, but they're launching counteroffensives. And now more than ever, I am thankful for your support, and I'm asking you to visit InfoWarsStore.com. Running right through to next week on Cyber Monday, we've got free shipping store-wide and clearly the biggest sales in our history. We just keep launching bigger and bigger sales. We've got our nootropic, Brain Force, 50% off. We've got so many other products there that are 50% off and free shipping, but it's all ending coming up next week. And many of these sales are for one day only because of the supplies. We've got Patriot Apparel. We've got it all. Help fund the Second American Revolution that's glowing global at InfoWarsStore.com. And whatever you do, pray for the Republic and pray for the fall of the New World Order.
Hey, did you know that you can now preserve your own food for up to 25 years and still maintain its nutrition and flavor? That's right. Now's the time to build your own food storage with Harvest Rights freeze dryers. Go to InfoWarsStore.com to learn more and check out this innovative and smart technology that's easy to use. And let me tell you something, it is perfect for freeze drying fruits, vegetables, meats, dairy products, desserts, and entire meals. Woo, that's what I'm talking about. out. And when compared to traditional methods of preservation, like canning or dehydrating, you know, like what you get at the grocery store, there is no comparison. Harvest Right freeze dryers retain 97% of the food's taste, color, and nutritional value and have a shelf life of up to 25 years. Now that's what I call the miracle of food preservation. Harvest Right is truly the world's best, most affordable freeze dryer. So what are you waiting for? Check it out right now at InfoWarsStore.com.
Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Visit InfoWarsLife.com to secure your canister. We have worked for years with our chemists and scientists to create the most powerful and affordable, great-tasting multivitamin formula available. Vitamin Mineral Fusion Drink Mix at InfoWarsLife.com is loaded with a full month's supply of essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that your body absolutely needs. In the history of InfoWars Life, we've brought out a lot of amazing products like Survival Shield X2, Super Male Vitality, and so many others. With its unique delivery system and proprietary manufacturing process designed for maximized effects, this formula is the platinum standard of multivitamin mineral products. And this part is most important. The ingredients in Vitamin Mineral Fusion are either plant-derived or of the highest quality lab standard. That means it's clean. That means it's pure. And rest assured, you're fighting the tip of the spear in the info war. That's InfoWarsLife.com and Vitamin Mineral Fusion. Take action now before we sell out.
The War Room. Infowars.com/show.
The silent majority is no longer silent. This is The War Room with Owen Shroyer at Infowars.com/show.
I'm sitting in here. I'm not complaining at the crew. I'm tongue-in-cheek saying, please get that graphic off the screen. It's so disgusting. But no, I honestly, like, I know these people are my enemy. I know Anderson Cooper, Wolf Blitzer, Brian Stelter, Cuomo, Zakaria, Rachel Madcow, Chris Hayes. I mean, I know those are the enemies. I know that that is the fake news. But seriously, like, ugh. Ugh, they have to stare at me. It's like, honestly, I feel violated just having these sick individuals staring at me. I'm so sorry. This is visual assault on the audience. But these are the enemies, and you need to know your enemy, and that's why we're doing this 34-hour special. And folks, it is Cyber Monday, so we've got great specials at InfoWarsStore.com, and you make it all possible. You, the audience, not big pharmaceutical companies, not big insurance companies, not big advertisers that buy up advertisement blocks, not multinational billionaires. No, you make InfoWars possible. Now, you probably heard today, Alex Jones has announced the latest product at InfoWarsStore.com, and it is the Real Red Pill. That's right, the Real Red Pill at InfoWarsStore.com. And we bring it to you at an introductory rate of 50% off. Unbelievable. Now, we've had groundbreaking products at InfoWarsStore.com before. DNA Force, Nascent Iodine, Survival Shield X2, Brain Force Plus. But now the Real Red Pill is the new breakthrough formula at InfoWarsStore.com. 50% off right now. That means it's time for you to take advantage of our Cyber Monday special. Get to InfoWarsStore.com and try out the Real Red Pill. Folks, this thing is just loaded with supplements. I mean, it is like a joke. It's like when you try to make, it's like we literally tried to put everything into one pill that also has a good formula and chemistry that provides maximum effectiveness. So folks, InfoWarsStore.com, huge Cyber Monday specials going on right now. Brand new product, the Real Red Pill. You have got to try this at InfoWarsStore.com. And please try some of our other products as well. Some of the big ticket items that are heavier, like emergency food, water filters, air filters. Big savings on that because we've got free shipping store-wide at InfoWarsStore.com. Check out everything at InfoWarsStore.com as we have specials going throughout the 34-hour Know Your Enemy broadcast. And we just decided, Rob Dew and I will be presenting the Fake News Trophy Awards tonight from midnight to 1 Central. And the 5 categories are for you to start chewing on, and we'll be ready for your phone calls. Fake News Anchor of the Year, Fake News Writer of the Year, Fake News Story of the Year, Fake News Patriot of the Year, that would be a John McCain or a Keith Olbermann, and then the big salami Fake News Trophy of the Year, the idea from President Trump that we bring to fruition right here at Infowars.com. So you're going to want to check that out tonight, midnight to 1 a.m. Central. I'm now joined by Jason Fick. You can find him on Facebook.com/jason.m.fick. That's F-Y-K. He's got a big following there. Jason, thanks for joining us today on the War Room.
Thank you, Owen, for having me on today.
Well, we got a lot of things to discuss, and the one issue I wanted to talk to you about was we're kind of at a weird point right now where we are well aware of, let's just say, some laws and some training that is putting police in between citizens and the law in a very compromising position, and we have to decide how can we address the issues that really are police tactics, training, and moreover, the law, instead of actually blaming the police and trying to incite some civil war between civilians and police where it really shouldn't be.
Well, on the police issue, obviously, if you did a little bit of backstory on me, I've had run-ins with corrupt police. Absolutely felt that sting. And the thing is that any position of power, this is whether it's be police, government, anywhere that people have control over other people, there's always that inherent risk of corruption and so forth. And obviously, when you start to put into play, like, what is their job and what is kind of an objective way to look at things. So, like, for example, is that, a lot of people are against police right now. You see the people kneeling during the anthems, and they don't seem to understand that the rest of us look at it like we need police. We need them. Absolutely 100%. Totally. Everybody's behind them in the sense that we need them or there's total anarchy. But the problem is that at the same time, they have a very specific job that they need to do correctly. And if they go outside of that, so for example, is that if their procedure is to do one thing, and they don't follow that procedure, well, now they're stepping outside of the rules. And if they step outside of the rules, then people see that and then they get upset with it's stepping outside of the rules. So where's that fine line where they're following rules or they're just taking the job where they shouldn't take it, if that makes sense? It's kind of, it's sort of like that gray area between here's what we have to do as police. We have to maintain people. We have to protect them. We need to serve them. But at the same time, that also means these other guys, the bad guys over here, that they're trying to not protect, they're trying to stop them. If you're this side over here that's getting it, protect or, is getting arrested or whatever, you don't look at it quite the same way. So you go out there and you kneel down and you're upset with police. Well, I
think if you don't mind me cutting you off there, because I think this is the crutch of the issue. What has happened because of the law, not because of police, but because of the law, you've had way too many people that honestly are innocent get lumped into that category that you're talking about of bad people that the cops have to protect us from when they really don't belong there, but the law puts them there.
Right. And actually, on a very specific note, okay, in my circumstance, I was arrested on charges of conspiracy to commit first-degree attempted murder. What did I do? I took a cell phone video. I was 30 feet away from a small scuffle, and I took a cell phone video. And next thing you know, I'm facing life sentences. That sounds insane, doesn't it? You're just like, how on earth? What I did was constitutionally protected. But see, the thing is that, first off, you're going to love this one. I was in Baltimore. No surprise there, right? I end up in jail, and then I found out that the corruption goes pretty deep, because every time that they arrest somebody, I mean, these guys have quotas, you know?
Yeah.
And the problem is, you know, I don't blame the individual cop. I'm not a cop hater in any way, shape, or form. But if you overstep the bounds of what your job is, you have a very important job as an officer to protect and maintain the country. I mean, if you step over that, and you, like, to throw me in jail for conspiracy to commit first-degree attempted murder, it cost the city a ton of money to fight it. It costs them money to put me in jail, to hold on to me. But see, here's the thing: is there's federal bailouts in that circumstance. Like the feds actually give the jails money to hold on to people. So they want to maximize the number, and of course, you know, privatizing jails and prisons and so forth. Same perpetual problem is they
Well,
want
sure,
to put people
and we're
in
about to go to break here, and we'll carry this on the other side. But, you know, let's not forget, police jurisdictions and offices, they suffer the same plight as any other business. They need funding. They need money to take care of their friends and family. They need new vehicles. They need this. They need that. So, of course, they want those federal dollars coming in. And this is where it comes down to, how do we measure whether the police are properly executing the law or executing the law but skipping justice?
It's called pregnanolone. And I learned about it 5 years ago, getting a checkup at the doctor, and I noticed they were selling it. And then I learned, though, that if you take it with multivitamins and the right amino acids and the right minerals in a compound together and soup it up with beetroot concentrate, that the leading science showed that all of that together gave your body the complete building blocks to produce not just key hormones, but other compounds that come out of your glands. And it's so game-changing. I've been taking the red pill the last few months, and the amount of energy it gives me, the amount of stamina, the amount of focus. You can even make claims about what it does for your cardiovascular system, what it does for your brain. But there's no classic stimulants in the real red pill. So the real red pill, vitamin, minerals, and pregnanolone, as well as beetroot, is so powerful, supports optimal brain function, supports hormonal balance, supports healthy aging. By age 20, our body stops producing as much pregnanolone, which again is a neurosteroid precursor. That's why the Olympic team lets you take it. That's why all the sporting teams and other organizations let you take it, because it's in a steroid class, but it's naturally occurring and is a precursor. So it's reportedly, you can do your own research, totally and completely safe. It's the building block that your body has to have to then make all the other hormones. But then they've got to have the vitamins, they've got to have the minerals, they've got to have the amino acids, and then it's all right there together in the real red pill. You know, this had another name 6 months ago, and we were having the first samples come in that I began to take. And I noticed that the pills, let me open a bottle of this and just show you, that the pills were, depending on the batch, pink or red. This particular batch, the beetroot's not that dark, which is barely pink. And I thought, a pink pill? I go, ooh, Matrix, red pill. Call it the real red pill. Now, again, we have a product that is our best seller. This doesn't compete with Brain Force, that has the green tea extract, a little bit of it, and has some of the yerba mate in it, and gives you good, clean, strong pick-me-up. But that's not even the main reason. It's got the L-theanine. It's got a whole bunch of other alpha, GPC, and other things in it. Black pepper, fruit extract, and a bunch of other things that are known to give you good, clean energy. But this does have some healthy stimulants in it. The real red pill doesn't. It just has all the building blocks for you to have the hormones and the other things that your body needs. That's why I'm so excited about Brain Force Plus, which is still 50% off. That special is about to end because the supplies are about to sell out. And the red pill, the real red pill, out of the gates, ladies and gentlemen, is 50% off. It's a powerful multivitamin. It is a powerful mineral spectrum vitamin. But what it's really powerful for is that it has the pregnenolone in it and the beetroot and more, and all of it together. Dramatic response is what I've personally experienced. And that's why out of the gates, I'm offering 50% off on this. And the reason we're doing that is I want you to try it and see how amazing it is and give us your reviews before it goes back to the regular price. 120 capsules in a nice glass bottle, super high quality, and your purchase helps fund the operation. But I'm really impressed with the real red pill, so I hope you'll get your bottle today and tell us what you think there as well.
The War Room. Infowars.com/show.
Okay, so this is breaking right now, folks, and my spidey senses are tingling. The Washington Post just publishes, a woman approached the Post with dramatic and false tale about Roy Moore. She appears to be part of an undercover sting operation, and they're alleging that this was part of a James O'Keefe Project Veritas inspired, they're calling it a sting operation, into the Washington Post. Funny enough, or strangely enough, I think it was yesterday, a Washington Post reporter tried to do guerrilla journalism against James O'Keefe in the street, of which O'Keefe met calmly and collectively, unlike any of the journalists O'Keefe confronts who freak out and have spasms. So this is going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on here, folks, because O'Keefe swears that he's about to drop the ball on Washington Post. Are they trying to get ahead of it? Have they been scammed? Or did they actually get out ahead of a Project Veritas report? So we're going to continue to keep our ears perked on this one. Stay tuned to the Infowars Live 34-hour broadcast, because this all might break by the time I sign off tomorrow at 6 p.m. I kind of have a feeling. Now, let's go back to my guest, Jason Fick. Again, you can find him on Facebook, jason.m.fick. That's F-Y-K. And, Jason, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, where I've got stories about out-of-control police, out-of-control judges, specifically personal stories in my life. I never talk about them, but people don't even believe it. Literally, they can't even believe it. So to me, it comes down to the issue of, are we going to be a land of laws, or are we going to be a land of justice, where a police officer doesn't approach a situation and say, what does the law say? I'd like judges to approach every situation with the, consent of the law and understanding of the law and, the motivation by the law. However, there needs to be an overwhelming thought of justice, because a lot of the times these laws have nothing to do with justice, just about busting people, filling the prisons, and getting citations to fund the war on drugs. To me, that's the big issue. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to give you a good example, because everybody's saying, like, I guess the general push is that black people and white people are viewed differently within the law enforcement, right? That's supposedly the myth right now. I want to point something out. So when I was arrested for this whole big mess down in Baltimore, I went in for a bail review because, of course, my supposed charges were massive. Now, remember, I took a cell phone video. I literally did almost nothing. I wasn't even involved in the whole situation. And I stood in there, and I'll be honest, the whole room was black people. I don't even think there was another white guy in there. There was probably about 30 guys. I'm in a jumpsuit, chain, handcuffs, the whole deal. And I'm going in front of this judge, and the judge stood there. And when they brought up my case, now remember, I took a cell phone video. That's all I did. The judge actually said, anybody that would come to Baltimore to take a video of an attempted murder. Now realize, the kid got a black eye, and I wasn't even in the fight. It was a stupid little fight. There were no weapons, no nothing. It was nothing. Just a drunk bar fight. It was a parking lot. Some people got involved. It just happened that one girl that was in the fight happened to have a family that were police cops. And
doesn't that always change
Baltimore
the situation?
Cops. Oh yeah, the family members. I mean, there was a detective with the same last name.
Boy, I'll tell you, not to interrupt you, but let me just say, that is an entirely different issue to me. I mean, my gosh. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We jump into the whole having, connections. When you start getting into networking,
as soon as you know a judge or a lawyer, the entire situation changes. It's really ridiculous. Yeah.
Absolutely. When you start having connections, everything starts changing. So not only was this thrown out there, but this judge said, and this is on record. She said that, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically she said anybody that would come to Baltimore to videotape an attempted murder doesn't belong in the streets. Now, mind you, I had never been arrested. I was there on my first charge ever. I surrendered myself through my attorneys and so forth. And they thought that I was somehow a risk to
Wait,
society.
You didn't tell him you were white? Did you tell him you were white?
Here's the crazy part.
Oh, it didn't work. Oh, I'm sorry.
It didn't work. It went completely against me. It reversed somehow. And I end up getting no bail. So I'm going to jail for 2 months. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the judge has to make an example. Hey, look, I can punish Whitey too.
Oh yeah. And even though there wasn't really a crime involved in there. I mean, like what she said, if you break it down, anybody that would take an attempted video, protected under the Constitution, of an attempted murder, which nobody even went to the hospital till the following day. I think they got Motrin for their injuries.
Oh, well, you know that most likely they moved the charges up because someone involved with police officers were involved. That's how it goes every time.
Exactly. The blonde, somebody connected to her family was involved in the fight, or was involved with the police and so forth. Now,
yeah. So, now all of a sudden it's attempted murder with a deadly weapon.
Bingo.
I've seen that multiple times. Yep.
Now, I don't understand where the white privilege is in that. And this isn't a racist thing. It was just simply one of those, no, this was nothing to do with race. It had to do with connection. It had to do with abuse of power, misuse of power. Now, just to add, a cherry to the icing here, after they deny me bail, I'm still sitting there through the rest of these, these different trial things and so forth. Through the different bail hearings. The guy that gets up after me, and I kid you not, big guy, right? He was African American. He goes off, and the attorney for him starts explaining what happened. This guy was there on his 8th assault. 8th. He was there for hitting a guy in the head with a baseball bat. Right? It was it was assault 1. It wasn't even attempted murder. Now remember, he's got a baseball bat and hit a guy in the head. I took a cell phone video. I mean, it was ridiculous. This guy got $125,000 bail. 8th assault. Now, it was my first charge, and it was a cell phone video. That's not illegal.
How about the fact, I'm sorry, this woman, you can see in this video, this woman is doing more to instigate first-degree murder than you.
Exactly. She is the one that had a family member who was a cop.
I got to tell you.
And my story never got out there because when this all happened, it was a Democratic government. It was a Democratic, you know what? I am going to drop one thing that is kind of a monster in this whole thing. I was, this whole thing came down to essentially connections. There was this, how the state's attorney usually runs these cases. The state's attorney's office was actually trumped in this whole thing. The attorney general took my case. Why?
Yeah, why?
Why?
Yeah, great question.
They told me it never happens. They were coming down. They didn't even know the procedures in the courts that we were in, because they don't usually run in those courts unless there's a capital murder.
You shouldn't even have a case.
Bingo. And the interesting thing is I couldn't sue either. You know why? The city's broke.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said, well, why didn't you sue him? Why'd you sue him? I said, well, I did. I talked to the Murphy firm, and they were split decision. It was 3-2, and they were going to take my case, but they decided not to. And the reason being is because it was a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. They dragged me in there for no reason. They would have
never gotten paid.
No probable cause. I went broke, 100% broke. Was losing my house. Was losing everything, all because of bad, corrupt government. That's why I'm against it. It's why everybody should be against it. It's You know, these guys aren't.
Well, and here's the problem too, because we're about out of time here. But to me, it all comes back to this again. You've got people in positions of power that act selfishly. I think that's the thing that you experienced most with these people with these connections, wanted to act selfishly. They protected this blonde girl who probably had more guilt than you, and then they tried to basically project everything onto you to keep her out of trouble, and then to use their connections to kind of distract the entire case onto you. I've seen multiple cases like this before. What we need to do is we need to pay attention of who we're putting in positions of power. Like you said, state's attorneys, prosecuting attorneys, judges. Judges more than ever, I think, need to be looked at by the public, because at the end of the day, it's the judge that has the final say. We need judges that look for justice, not on a case-by-case basis where they don't even evaluate the case. They just evaluate the alleged case versus the law. Final words, Jason Fick.
Yeah, it really does come down to that. If you have a position of power, you absolutely have to do your job properly. We need to be careful of who we put into power, because if they abuse it, we're all in this problem. I mean, we're all in this problem together. You know, there is no fix. It's not about what everybody's trying to say it's about. It's about power. It's about power. It's about money. That's all it's about.
That's Jason Fick. Thank you so much for your story today, folks. We're going to be live continuing. You stay classy, Info Warriors. Don't go anywhere. The broadcast continues.
Just briefly, my dad is an oral surgeon and dentist. He's about to retire. And about 15 years ago, he heard me ranting and raving about fluoride in toothpaste and how it causes brain damage and lower IQ and dental fluorosis. And he said, son, I don't care who you have on the air. That's a bunch of bull. You need fluoride or you die. And I actually showed him what was in the water supply and the fluoride. He said, this is incredible. This is Grignard Reagents heavy metals. They're covering for it, calling it fluoride under law with a loophole to dump toxic waste in the food and water. Exactly. Now, CNN had to admit last month, in utero and in children, massive IQ reductions. Well, 6 years ago, the EPA said reduce it in water by half. You don't drink your sunscreen, but hydrofluorosilicic acid is a hopped up version of fluoride. It's been turned into an acid, and it's an adjuvant. It's very toxic. But there is the CNN headline that fluoride in the water and in toothpaste is causing IQs to drop precipitously. And for 7 years, the American Dental Association says don't brush children's teeth until age 6 with it. Why does it say nursery water than at the store with added fluoride? And they didn't add calcium fluoride, boys and girls. They added hydrofluorosilicic acid. That's why my dad and I developed, with the same folks that make Tom's of Maine, it's private labeled, Super Blue non-fluoride toothpaste with colloidal silver and high-quality iodine, which you die without iodine. Massive iodine deficiencies in the country. If you drink the stuff that's at the store, it'll kill you. That's a different type of iodine. This is the real medical grade. It's 33% off right now. And we have the bubble gum, natural flavor, organic flavored for children, that doesn't have as much of the peppermint in it, because it says concentrated toothpaste. Super Blue toothpaste available at InfoWarsStore.com.
These conspiracy theories were first spread by radio talk show host Alex Jones.
But to get the employee at YouTube on tape admitting that they do it? I mean, you must be a threat if they call you out by name.
It's fun.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Name Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Alex Jones. Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones is a lunatic.
Because we know that these are legitimate news organizations. And if at that point somebody decides they're going to scroll past that and go find Alex Jones, well, they were looking for him to begin with anyway.
That man's a threat to this country.
There's a guy on the radio.
His name is Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
There's a lot of controversy around this network about Alex Jones, for example.
Time to stop submitting to this tyranny. It's time to realize that we're being enslaved.
I heard that on Alex Jones.
Infowars went even further.
Infowars, it's a radio show hosted by Alex Jones.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Nobody can dispute the fact that you're a rapist.
Infowars.com. Infowars comes to mind.
Infowars.
Right now, the war is the info war.
You watch Infowars?
Infowars sucks.
I got a chair going.
Looking at widely reported information from Infowars.
Infowars?
Infowars.
Infowars.com. I want freedom. That's what I want, and that's what you should want.
Hello, this is Hank Hill, and I'm telling you what, you need to listen to Alex Jones.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
It's Black Friday, the 24th day of November 2017. I'm going to be live here for the next 4 hours. I am your host, Alex Jones. This is the Info War. Wow. Top brands pull YouTube ads over pedophilia fears. It's true. They have a lot of very serious stuff sexualizing children on the Google platform. We're going to be discussing that. We've got Black Friday madness videos and so much more. But first, a powerful report from our own John Bound.
You might be an evil stain on humanity when the prime minister of your native country starts a television and billboard campaign against you. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban accuses George Soros of claiming that George Soros wanted to settle at least 1 million immigrants per year and pay them thousands of euros.
Útjában állunk egy pénzügyi és politikai birodalomnak, amely ezt a tervet végre akarja hajtani, legyen bármi is az ára. Ne kerteljünk, a Soros terv végrehajtása érdekében egész Európában el akarják takarítani az útból a nemzeti érdekeket képviselő kormányokat, ideértve bennünket is.
CNBC reported Soros, whose political views are in stark contrast to Budapest's ruling Fidesz party, said Monday he had been targeted by an administration stoking anti-Muslim sentiment and employing anti-Semitic tropes reminiscent of the 1930s. Sorry, George, the Nazi-esque techniques being used against you excuse doesn't add up when you are on record of actually being proud of turning in your fellow Jews during the Holocaust.
When the Nazis occupied Budapest in 1944, George Soros' father was a successful lawyer. He lived on an island in the Danube and liked to commute to work in a rowboat. But knowing there were problems ahead for the Jews, he decided to split his family up. He bought them forged papers, and he bribed a government official to take 14-year-old George Soros in and swear that he was his Christian godson. But survival carried a heavy price tag. While hundreds of thousands of Hungarian Jews were being shipped off to the death camps, George Soros accompanied his phony godfather on his appointed rounds, confiscating property from the Jews.
No problem at all.
No feeling of guilt.
No.
For example, that I'm Jewish, and here I am watching these people go. I could just as easily be there. I should be there. None of that.
Well, actually, funny way, it's just like in markets, that if I weren't there, of course, I wasn't doing it, but somebody else would be taking it away anyhow. In other words, whether I was there or not, I was only a spectator. The property was being taken away.
Meanwhile, the leaders and deep pockets attempting to overthrow the country with a variety of anti-American leftist foundations sat down together at the La Costa Resort in Carlsbad, California to discuss a summit that was intended to remain confidential. However, the Washington Free Beacon obtained the internal documents of the summit, reporting the Democracy Alliance is a safe place for donors and activists to meet. Guests are instructed not to share members' names with the press and not to post to any social media sites, to contact Democracy Alliance if the media or a blogger contacts them, and to refrain from leaving sensitive materials out where others may find them. This latter directive was obviously ignored. The agenda for the meeting, titled Beyond #Resistance, Reclaiming Our Progressive Future, lays out 3 full days of events. Agendas included the fight against Trump's tax proposal, the war against climate change deniers, and a plan of attack on waging war against the progressives' version of so-called fake news. And I don't mean CNN. Notable speakers included one of the Democratic Party's propaganda outlets, Brave New Films, a talk with United States public enemy #1 George Soros, which will be followed by dinner with Nancy Pelosi, spewing out a myriad of fabrications about what Americans really want. So rest assured, when the elitists aren't on the beach, playing golf, or buying Gucci handbags, they will be hard at work figuring out how to take down the exponential populism of the American people with their army of leftist foundations. John Bound reporting for Infowars.com.
This will be a day long remembered. We've seen the end of the Clintons. We'll soon see the end of the globalists.
Donald J. Trump is now president of the United States. It's not true. That's impossible.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
It's also what happens when you listen to the radio host, Alex Jones.
Move, bitch! Get out the way!
We pledge allegiance to one flag, and that flag is the American flag.
Infowars helped fuel the rumor that President Obama is an ISIS supporter.
It's been a cozy relationship from the beginning. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed, I hope. And I think we'll be speaking a lot. Donald Trump and Alex Jones.
This means that Donald Trump will be the 45th president of the United States.
Waging war on corruption. It's
Alex Jones.
Ladies and